YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today I have the Rhino and we have this beer right in front of me. This beer was left here after the Albino Rhino Beer Festival this year. So this has been here since May. It's now the end of November. So it's been sitting here for a while now. It's been sitting here for so long because I've been trying to do this with Chris on the 10th in the basement. Clyzak, however you want to say his name. I was intending to do this with him, and just things kept happening where he didn't come over, and now that he's living in St. Catharines, I basically never see him except for right before work. So it has to get done before it goes bad, so we're gonna do this. It's 10% alcohol though, so I really wanted to have more than one person here. I had hoped for 3 or 4. The few times the guys got here, like James and them, I was hoping Chris would show up and then we could do it with Chris and have other people to drink it with us. But anyway, Average Joe brought this up. It's a milk stout, which is why it really worries me too. Because by now it may have turned. I'm hoping it didn't because it is 10% alcohol. But this is Resurgence Imperial Sponge Candy Milk Stout. So I actually have never had a Resurgence beer until this one, I believe. Again, alcohol 10%. Resurgence Brewery on Niagara Street in Buffalo, New York. Okay, let's pop it and hope it doesn't explode because it's been a while. Oh no, nothing really. Had a nice hiss to it. 10% alcohol. So what little head there is a nice mocha brown. The beer itself is blacker than the black blood of the earth. Beer has a little bit of viscosity. It has some nice legs for a few seconds. It's nice smell. Whew. Now this is older, like I said. This was brought up in May, so I figured by now it wouldn't be as hot, but it's a fairly hot beer. But lots of chocolate, lots of caramel. Chocolate, caramel, butterscotch, alcohol. And a bit of vanilla coming off the nose, out of the glass, out of the bottle. Out of the bottle I just really get a roastiness. Let's try it. Cheers. Now, when you talk about sponge candy, there's a lot of different things that can come up in some people's minds. I mean, there's the soft stuff, there's the really hard stuff. For me, when I think of anything candied and sponge, I think of the Crunchy Bar, the sponge toffee inside the Crunchy Bar that's hard as a rock, but it just has that beautiful, beautiful flavor and that beautiful, beautiful crunch. And it's so light and wafery. And this reminds me of that. This reminds me of actually eating a Crunchy Bar, except this is 10% alcohol and it's liquid. Chocolate, very sweet chocolate, sweet caramelly notes, sweet graininess, sweet butterscotch, a little bit of a dirty back end in the finish. And when I say dirty back end, I'm talking like English-esque hoppiness. Good day, Boris. It really does remind me of eating a Crunchy Bar, and I haven't had a Crunchy Bar in forever. And the first thing I thought about after taking a sip was the Crunchy Bar. So I mean, that's awesome. The Crunchy Bar was always my favorite chocolate bar. Next off of that would probably be a Coffee Crisp. I like old person chocolate apparently. And then there's my dog. I like him too. How much bigger are you gonna get, boy? How much bigger are you gonna get? Your sister didn't get very big. We thought she was going to be huge. She weighs a lot, but she didn't get very big. Okay, back to the beer. 10% alcohol. A little bit of an alcohol warmth inside your chest and throat, but not much. I mean, this is a very, very dangerous beer because I wouldn't say it's 10%. I would probably guess it at the 6.5, maybe 7 at the most. Very beautiful flavors. I'm not really getting much lactose though for a milk stout. Usually that lactose sweetness is there all the time, but the caramel and the chocolate sweetness seems to be hiding the lactose sweetness, which is perfectly fine for me because I'm not a huge fan of the lactose sweetness. In all honesty, I really like this beer. I don't know if Chris would have liked it. Chris normally doesn't like higher ABV beers, and he doesn't like if you could feel the burn at all, and I can feel a little bit of burn, so I don't know if he would actually really appreciate this beer or not, but I really did. I really wish I could have made something work, but every time I'd invite him over, he'd even remove himself from the chat group that it was set up in. So, I mean, I don't want beer to go bad. I have so much shit in the basement too. I have so many beers to get through still, and I have the advent calendar that's starting up, and I don't even know what to do anymore. There's just too much stuff, and nobody wants to come over. Nobody, Helga, nobody. So yeah, out of 10, I don't know, an 8.5. This is a very good beer. It's not the be-all, end-all that I was hoping it would be. I was hoping it would be magical, but I think that's the problem, right? A lot of things. Sometimes the name just gets you so excited, and you're like, stop with the snapping. Sometimes the names just get you so excited, and you're like, yeah, this is gonna be great, and it gets your hype, it gets your expectations really high up, and then it's not that great, and you're left sad, not knowing what to do. And just like this dog, she doesn't know what to do because she was snapping at me. So now my hand is down her throat. Well, not down her throat, but it's right at the back of her mouth, so she can't actually get any strength in closing that mouth. And now she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do. 8.5. I like it. Bye, guys.